guys, welcome to episode 10, and it's actually 10 this time because Adam got it wrong last time, of Normalising Life podcast. Episode 10, within the double figures. Yeah, I'm well buzzing at this.
I know. Well, like, I got it wrong last time, but this time it statistically means that we have beat 95% of podcasts. Because 95% of podcasts don't make it past episode 10. So there we go. If you get it past episode 10, you're in the top 5% of podcasts that have ever been made. So let's go, mate. It's good.
That's awesome. Awesome. Right. So what's happened this week, Adam? What's the crack?
Well, there's been a lot of stuff that's happening. It's been a bit of a weird one. Like, for me, I've seen the rise of this new Clubhouse app, this new social media. I think for us doing podcasts, it's going to be a great format for us potentially to reach a wider audience when we get into that and go into that. I'd actually love to hear if other people have heard about it and what their opinions are on it. If you are watching on YouTube, or you want to DM me or Rob on Instagram, that'd be awesome. Let us know what you think about it if you're on it yet, and if not, are you looking forward to being able to get on it? I think it goes public in March, but it is invite only at the minute.
If you don't know what it is, it's basically a platform, social media platform, where it's like a room and people can all go into a room and there's like as many hosts as you want and everyone gets to speak if they wanted to. So you raise your hand and you can speak, but everyone can listen, and there's no video, it's just pure audio. So realistically, it's like a podcast, an interactive podcast that you can talk to people and you can learn from people. I think it's really about learning. Like, there's a lot of business owners and a lot of like successful people who are making these chats, and then you can learn from these people and you can talk with them direct instead of just listening to their podcast and not interacting with them, which it's a good idea. I think it's got a really good concept behind it, and maybe it is the future.
Yeah, I think that especially with like podcasting and stuff, like I've been looking at ways of how I could record a room and then upload it as a podcast later and things like that, because one of the big things that I think is really useful is when people can ask questions and you can do like Q&A style stuff, and you can give value with context then, and especially kind of with the new A-game business that I'm doing, it's all about helping people with the mental, physical and internal health. It's a great platform for us to be able to actually give context in when we're trying to give people advice and help people with it. So that's going to be a really, really good tool, I think. But yeah, like you're saying, the layout is basically like the hosts and the people that are talking are on the stage, and then you have an audience, but people in the audience can put their hands up and they can come up on stage and talk with you as well, which is it's really cool. And like I say, at the minute, because it's a closed off invite only app, I think a lot of people the people that are in it are the people that want to be on it. It's not really like your consumers yet, it's more like your actual business people that want to grow and develop and learn the app before it kind of goes public in a sense. But I think if a lot of consumers use it and a lot of consumers jump on it, then it could be really, really big for adding value and stuff in the future.
Yeah, there's always going to be some people that try to ruin it.
Yeah,
Somehow I can't think of any way they would at the minute, but I'm pretty sure there'll be people that are destructive and will try to freaking ruin it. Like,
yeah, well, they definitely will,
not.
But they definitely will be. But I think it's the way that people do it, because there's going to be a time when that becomes monetized, and it's like, just to bring us back to the sponsor of this room, it is so and so, and I can see it just becoming a big sales thing.
Advertising.
Yeah, and I just hope that it doesn't get too. It's more about adding value and doesn't become monetized. So like monetized in the sense of like the influencer marketing too early.
Yeah, absolutely. So, first part of the podcast, what's in the news, and I've got a fucking cracker. Because we've obviously missed last week's What's in the News, so I think this actually happened last week or the week before. No, 11th of January I think it was. I don't know if anyone's seen or watches Joe Wicks doing his exercise thing, his friggin' HIIT classes on BBC, but I can't even say it's hilarious. So two weeks ago he was doing one, and he thought he thought he was behind the camera and it wasn't live yet, but the camera was live and he was off screen, and he lets out this absolute thunder ripper fart. It's impressive. I was impressed when I heard it. Like, I don't think I've ever sang a tune out my butt like that in my life. But this thing is acoustically godly. So I'll let you listen to it and let you decide for yourself. But then he's like, all right, play now. It's been live the whole time. Millions of people watching it.
That's brilliant.
And then he's been on. He's recorded a reaction and an apologies for the YouTube video. But oh my god, like imagine how embarrassed you'd be. Like,
but talking about normalising life, it's like everyone needs to just let them rip sometimes. Even if you're live on BBC.
I just imagine popping around. It's like, it's all those baby trees.
Too much properly.
Oh my god, it'll go down in history as like one of the most embarrassing things ever happened.
That's so good though. It's like you can't normalise anything more than that though, can you? Like, just playing it again.
No.
But yeah, so that.
Like 3, 2, 1, go.
I just need to get this out, guys, before we go live. The thing is he in a, he must be in a room by himself there. Like, is it?
No, I think he's with his missus or something. His missus is recording, but she's fucked up. Realistically, it's his missus' fault because she screwed him over big time here.
Yeah.
Going live early.
I need to watch his reaction to that. I think it'll be hilarious.
We'll reevaluate the reaction next week.
Yeah. Oh no, that'd be so funny. I can't believe that's
absolutely
happened.
brilliant.
But so that
but yeah, that was in the news, and I'm happy with that.
happy for that to be in the news, and it's a lot more
Right,
positivity from the BBC than what has been going on a lot more recently. So
yeah, exactly. We've actually got a question from the public from the first time, so we'll play this, and it's a juicy question. So here we go.
And
hey guys, huge fan of the podcast. My question for you today is regarding PEDs. I've been training for about 5 years now, and it's literally only now that I'm realising how many guys that I looked up to are stacking them, then blatantly lying that they achieve it naturally. Gotten quite close to a lot of these guys over the years, and they've now admitted to using them, and it's kind of shaken my own goals. I have no issues with PEDs. My issue comes with people using them dishonestly and setting fucked up standards for beginners. I think it's been worsened by social media and actors using them for these amazing transformations. At the end of the day, it leaves people with unrealistic goals and ends up affecting their mental health when they can't make the same gains. I reckon honesty about using them probably be less destructive than lying about it in the first place. Anyway, I would love to know what you boys think.
Well, that was Chris Perry, a friend of mine from Belfast, and it was a phenomenal question, great question.
Definitely.
Adam, what's your thoughts?
well, for me, like with performance enhancing drugs,
What's your opinion on PADs first? Like are you for or against them?
I'm for them if you're not competing in like a sport where you're going up against people that aren't on them.
Yeah.
So if you're using them for your own personal gain, say bodybuilding in a sense there, if you're using it for bodybuilding, go for it, because it's clear that you get to a point that everybody is on them. And it one of the main things why I wouldn't go down the route of bodybuilding, like when I first started, when I did my competition, I was very much like, oh, I could see myself doing this longer term, just being naive and not knowing enough about it. 'Cause it's like, I love the structure and I love the routine of it all. But then when I think it was the point when I actually stepped on stage and I was the only guy that was natural, and I'm surrounded by guys that are enhanced. I was like, this is a different league. Like, I feel like a fucking tadpole in a pond here, a very big fish. And I was just like, I'm not like, if you want to take it for your own personal reasons and you've got no plans on competing, or you're competing in a sport that is enhanced, or like, I know that powerlifting has like competitions that are like non-tested competitions, so they're obviously for the enhanced people. So it's like, sweet, fair enough, that's fine because you're being open and honest about it. But like you said, it's what comes to the issue with me is, especially when it comes to social media, and there's a lot of like big influencers out there that maybe don't claim to be natural, but they don't claim to be on steroids either, and they just let people assume that that body's achievable. That's where my kind of issue comes into it, because number one, like, you can never go, I want to look like that guy, because your genetics are completely different to that guy. You will never look exactly like that guy. But two, or girl, and two, it's just like, it's just making them, even if they put in the hard work for the rest of their life, they would never achieve to that standard anyway. So it's just making like unachievable goals for people.
Yeah, I think the whole thing comparing yourself to the exponential people on Instagram, like those people on Instagram, that is like literally the 1% of people that are fucking genetically gifted. Like that's the cold hard truth. Like you, realistically, the people looking at these people will never be these people. They don't have the genetic capacity to be able to be like these people on Instagram. People need to get over that fact as well. Like it's not just the steroids, but it's getting over the fact that you are not genetically capable of getting to that place.
Yeah.
Maybe with steroids, yes, but normalising that needs to be a thing. But PEDs, like they were made for going past your genetic level. Like
Yeah.
once you hit your genetic capacity, the steroids are supposed to take you past that. But people just fucked that up, skipped the genetic capacity bit, and just went straight from the start, which built the foundation of steroids. But again, you get used to those steroids. Like I don't think we should be comparing ourselves to these people taking steroids, because at the end of the day, like they can't come off these things anymore. Whenever they come off the steroids, they're never going to be. They're going to find it so hard to maintain what they were with steroids. So in the same time, you may feel sort of jealous of people who are that size on steroids, but look at the other side. Like they might be jealous of you, the fact that you've actually worked for this harder and you're still getting satisfaction every day rather than relying on steroids to get that satisfaction.
Yeah.
So my answer to Chris is just keep going where you're going. I know Chris has made like unbelievable good progress this past year working with a PT called Ben Heron in Belfast, and like he should be well more proud of that progress than a lot of other bodybuilders on steroids getting to the stage of on stage sometimes. But he worked way too really hard to get where he was, and probably worked 3 times as hard as people with steroids, like in a realistic level. So looking at it that way, I think that.
What's his background? Do you know what sport? Is it bodybuilding? Does he do CrossFit?
Just bodybuilding, but I'm not too sure if he's done much sports, but I'm sure I'll have to ask him. But he does airsoft as well. But yeah, he's always struggled with going to the gym, losing weight and stuff like that there. But this year he's made a phenomenal progress.
Yeah, and I think
during a pandemic as well.
Yeah, I think
which is applaudable.
There's a lot of things to like. So a lot of people that I know that are taking steroids from like the gym that I work at is very heavily bodybuilding focused, and a lot of them like. They are very, very good. Like they're very regimented. Like if you're wanting to take steroids to improve, but then you're still going to go out and drink and you're still going to get smashed all the time, then there's no point. But you can't outtrain a bad diet, even if you're taking like obviously the supplements are going to help a lot, but they're not. You can't like outtrain a bad diet in a sense there. So if you are going to be eating shit and you are going to be taking God knows what on a weekend when you're getting pissed, then you can't. There's so much going on with your hormones and stuff that you're almost like just this bundle of.
It's sustainability as well.
Yeah.
Like keeping sustainable on steroids is fucking hard. The amount you have to eat, the amount you have to satisfy your sexual needs as well. Like all that sort of stuff all adds up. Like the amount of things you have to do to keep in tune. Like PEDs, don't get me wrong. I have thought about doing it many times, quite recently as well. But I don't know, the needle thing scares me a wee bit. Like,
no, I think people at our level, if they haven't said they've thought about it, they're lying to you. Like people that train, that train heavy and train hard.
Yeah, and it's very tempting, and I applaud people who have done it naturally, but at the same time, like it's making it very unachievable. The people taking steroids, and their progress is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, that's it. It's like you feel like you get to a point where you get frustrated and you're not progressing as quick as you want, and you're just like, there is this magic thing that's going to help me progress, but it is everything else. Like you've got to make sure that you're so like mentally sound because of the effect that you're having on your actual hormones, because you're injecting hormones into your body. So you need to be thinking about that, and then when you break it down to like more scientific, that your body produces estrogen to level out the testosterone. So if you're injecting testosterone, then your body creates more estrogen. So when you stop taking testosterone, exactly like gyno, just mood swings and stuff, you're almost on like, because obviously estrogen's like a female hormone that gets raised when girls go onto the period. It's like
that's commonly known as bitch tits.
Yeah, you get the kind of the mood swing almost like you'd be on your period in a sense. Like that's kind of what would be happening. It's them mental health implications of that your hormones are all out of whack. It's going to send you all over the place, that you need to really be considering. If you're already in a state of where you're not say mentally stable, but you're not like in a position, your cup's not full. Like we always say, don't pour from an empty cup. And if your cup's not full and you're feeling in a very good level,
you'll be 2 times as bad.
Yeah, you're gonna be really bad. And not only that, it's like from the physio point of view, is that your muscles are gonna grow a lot quicker than what your tendons and ligaments can adapt to it. So you're gonna really, like, tendonitis is super common as soon as people start taking steroids. Super tight muscles, and they're just getting like knee pain, elbow pain, just from doing the different things that they're doing, because you need to be, like I say, you need to have your routine, and you need to be so mentally sound that it's like, sweet, well, now that I'm taking these, I need to be adding another 2 mobility sessions in a week, because you need to do that so your muscles can lengthen.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. Like, obviously you've been in the gym and you've seen that big roided out guy in the corner that's absolutely screaming when he's doing his weights. He's literally in pain. Like, that's not put on. Well, I guess some of it's obviously been overdone, like, but he is literally in a lot of pain with his joints and muscles contracting than the average person because of the steroids. Like, people don't understand this, and as I says, like, I wouldn't write it off. Even in the future, I wouldn't write it off taking them. But I know for a fact if I was ever going to take them, I would know every single detail of what I'm putting into my system. The problem is, at the minute, people don't look at what they're putting in their system. Like, they're talking about taking a vaccine for COVID. Oh, don't know about that, but they're injecting fucking all sorts of shit into their system through PEDs. Like, you need to know exactly what you're taking. I would even pay for someone to tell you scientifically what you should be taking, because at the end of the day, your body is a temple. Like, you need to look after it.
There's someone who I follow, who I know actually, he's based in Hull at the minute, called the Anabolic Scientist, who he's great. He's got, like, I think he's working towards his PhD now, but he's literally knows so much shit about all of this stuff. Like, if anyone is considering it, I would reach out to Will, the Anabolic Scientist, on Instagram, because I'll just follow him and look at some of the information he gives out, because I'm not claiming to know all the kind of stuff. I know kind of the effects it has on the body in the sense of, like, muscular stuff and a little bit about hormones and stuff, but that's just from kind of seeing the clients I have seen. But he's, like, down to a T, knows all of the different ones. He's on steroids himself. He competes in bodybuilding. He's one of the biggest, most flexible guys I've ever seen. Like, because he's got, like, his non-negotiables are he stretches for 45 minutes every day and does his mobility work 45 minutes every day. And it's that's what you need. Like, if you're going to take it seriously, you need that kind of structure. And if you're going to...
This is what we need. We need people like this talking about it, rather than people hiding it, taking it, hiding it, and making false hope for people. People should be taking it and telling people how to take it and what they should and shouldn't be doing and how to take it properly, because there's too many people that are going in, diving in and fucking themselves up in the future. If we make it just like, if they're going to be taking it, it's like fucking ecstasy. The kids are going to take ecstasy at raves. Like, you're never going to stop that. It's been happening for 30, 40 odd years. Like, you're never going to stop it. But the best thing to do is mediate what they're taking. Like, same as what they do in nightclubs in, I think, Amsterdam. They test the pills as they go in, so they know they're taking safe pills, even though it's not probably the best thing to do. But they're making sure they're doing it safely. Same as steroids. If you're going to take it, you need to make sure you're taking it properly, you're taking it safely, and that's why there should be more people talking about it, like normalising steroids.
I'll reach out to Will and see if we can get him on for an episode, because I think that
I'll be really, really good.
He's got a very, very good deep insight into all this kind of stuff, and like I said, he takes it himself. He competes, and like I say, his physique when he competed was incredible. But not only that, it's like he's so mobile when he does it as well. So it's like he's a big guy, but to actually be able to use it, and like, have you ever seen that video of where, like, there's this massive bodybuilder where he's trying to get the sticky note off his back? He can't get that sticky note off his back because of his mobility and how shit it is. It's like them people that walk around like they're carrying carpets. They're the people that are just doing it but not really doing it right. Or maybe, like, say, like, realistically, if I ever started to do it like that properly, I would be getting my bloods done like every 5 to 6 weeks, making sure everything's level. Nice. Not that you're just taking the actual not that you're taking the actual supplement, the whatever it is, the testosterone or whatever, but you're taking everything that you need to block the estrogen and like prevent the side effects and stuff, because everyone thinks about the positive side effects but forgets about what negative side effects you're going to have there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But to answer Chris's question from me, I do believe that people, like, if you want to take it safely. But personally, for me, who isn't a PED taker, looking at these people, I don't give two flying fucks what they're taking. I care about what I'm lifting, what progress I'm making, only, and that's the way everyone should be looking at it. Don't compare yourself to these people who are taking them, etc. If you're making progress faster than them, but realistically, Chris, you are, then you should be happy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And just keep going at your own pace. If it takes you 3 times as long, happy days. It takes you 3 times as long, but I promise you now, you'll have more satisfaction than they will.
Yeah, I think it's training smart. Like if you're making sure you're using your full range of motion, you're getting good mind to muscle connection, and like just your training style, your recovery is on point. All of these different things, you're gonna make progress if you keeping them everything like that in place and using progressive overload. Because there's a lot of stuff at the minute about like poor form and like adding weight on over form, and like seeing like people doing bent over rows that are like chicken necking and just like standing up straight.
It's a big thing in the industry.
Yeah, and it's I think it's just if you can really make sure that you're nailing down the form and technique, and you just not even like in a capacity of not like your CrossFit style stuff of your clean and jerks and your snatches and all the complicated movements, making sure you're nailing down your simple movements, like even like a fucking barbell bicep curl, making sure that you're not swinging from the hips and you can keep that contraction nice and target the area you want to target. It's going to be so much more beneficial for that area. But if you do that on every single exercise and every single muscle group, you're going to see so much more progress.
A good example of what you're talking about is Mike Thurston on Instagram, who claims to be natural, but I've listened to a few podcasts and YouTube videos, and do you know what? I actually believe him, because he apparently is a genetic freak. I listened to him on a podcast with Chris Williamson. He was talking about it in Dubai, and Chris Williamson known him from like no age, and he said he's always been like a big guy and always shredded, like always. So maybe he is genetically freaked out, and maybe he is natural. But at the same time, if you ever look at him exercising, his training is just like perfection in terms of form. Everything is just slow and controlled, all about muscle growth, and he has nailed muscle growth every year for the past 13 years. These people have been training for 13 years. Just put that into comparison. Like I've only been training maybe 5 at best. Like you can't compare yourself with gym 5 years and training 13 years. Like that's fucking 8 years of protein synthesis for constantly. I mean that's what people don't like. I hate shortcuts. Just fucking put the work in. Yeah. Fuck the shortcuts. Just work hard.
It's like I have nothing like. Say like I was saying right at the start. It's like if you want to take it, then absolutely fair enough. And I'm not convinced that Mike Thurston is completely natural, but he. I've got massive amounts of respect for him because I know how much fucking hard work he puts in. So it's like even if he is enhanced, I've still got a massive amount of respect for him. But it's obviously that of like, if you are, just let people know. And I think there's a lot of people in the industry that say they weren't like publicly enhanced, but they were, and now that they're coming out about it and talking about it now, it's like. Well, what?
But the reason they don't do that as well is because they're going to lose their sponsors. A lot of them will lose their sponsors as soon as they announce it. They're not. But it's natural. So like I can see why they're not doing it as well. Like it's money at the end of the day. It's putting food on the table. If it's a lie that helps you put food on the table, then I can see why they do it. Like
I mean, there is certain people like I know Matt Does Fitness is another one because obviously he's like I don't know, he's in his 30s and he's like as ripped as he is all year round as well. But when you look back at him, like even when you were a powerlifter, he was like fucking massive. He was really, really big. And I think that like that in itself is just that if someone is genetically like that, like one of my best friends grew up as a gymnast, and Luke, and he gets allegations about being on steroids and stuff all the time, but I know for 100% fact he's not. But he's just ripped 24/7, like every day of the year. But he has a massive struggle of when it comes to eating food to put on weight. But
yeah, it's the same as myself.
Because of his
I'm the exact same. Yeah. Like I don't think even from the age of 16 I've never not had a six pack. Like it's just genetics. But some people like John, my partner at Hybrid, he never has a six pack. He walked on stage at fucking I think it was about 12% body fat, and he still didn't have abs. Like it just genetically doesn't have abs. But like people, you can't fight genetics. Like
yeah. No, I know. But I think this is a rabbit hole that we could go down for ages. But that's how I'll try and get Will on, one of my friends who knows a hell of a lot. It's like what he doesn't know about it isn't worth knowing, kind of attitude.
And they should also do Olympic steroids. Or steroids on Olympics. So one event purely for PED athletes that's going to throw a javelin for like a mile.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. Like
that would be insane. That. That would actually be like very interesting to see what the difference was. Like,
Yeah, 100%. It'd be amazing, and like it'd be so entertaining.
Yeah.
Imagine people like running a 100 meter in like 7 seconds.
yeah, that would be crazy. That to see the kind of the world on steroids, the elite athletes on steroids that just see how far they can take the body.
Would you make it happen? If I would get big enough, I'm gonna do a fucking Olympic where everyone's on gear.
The enhanced games.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much, Chris, for your question. That's an unreal question, and I welcome anyone else who has questions in the future. Definitely, I'll send you a link. Send me or Adam a message on Instagram, and we'll send you a link so you can send us a.
The link is in the bottom. If you're watching this now on on any podcast platform or on YouTube, if you can't find it, just message me and Rob. But it will be in every single description to every single episode. So. It should be easy enough to find to send in a message, but yeah, guys, if you want to just send me and Rob it, that would be awesome. And you don't need to say it. If you don't want it included in the podcast, that's fine. We can just read it out, or we can just talk about it from that point of view there. But it'd be great to have you guys in because we like that kind of involvement.
Awesome. So better pill to swallow. I've got one here that should be normalised for sure. Avoiding stress will not help you grow. I'm quite passionate about this, especially if I'm down or anything like that. There, I take on more things so I can really I can get stressed on purpose, so I can grow out of the rut that I'm in. I believe that the recovery from the stress is where you grow the most, but people don't understand this. People who hide from the stress, they don't grow. And if they don't put themselves in these stressful situations, they're just never going to grow.
Yeah.
And that's the whole cold hard truth. Like, there's too many people in the world that are hiding from stress, which realistically you should be inviting it.
Yeah, and I'm like massive on outside of your comfort zone is the growth zone. So it's like if you're outside of your comfort zone, you're going to have some implication of stress. Whether that stress is on your body from a fitness point of view, an exercise point of view, whether this stress is in your business, and whether this stress is a little bit emotionally, it's going to probably get you through. But I think it is important to note on that is that there is levels to it. So there's obviously there's no stress, there's your optimum stress. Don't really like the word optimum, but there's that level of this is peak stress, what I can deal with and I can grow with. And then there's been overstressed and just stretching yourself actually too thin and not really knowing what to do to adapt around to it.
I think that's my problem, to be fair. I think I take too much on because I try to get out of something so much, where I take too much on and it starts to get overwhelming. But that's again where I grow the most after that, whenever I complete everything and I'm like, fuck, it's like running a fucking marathon after. You're like sweating, like done, happy days, and I feel like you've done something good, which I believe is definitely, it helps me grow personally.
Yeah, well there's that, again, it's like, I love my little analogies for these kind of things here, and it's like, if you're not, the only time you fail is when you quit. So it's like if you are doing something and you become overstressed by it, then you can learn from it and you can progress moving forward. There's no reason why you taking too much on, getting stressed about it is then gonna getting stressed that you're taking too much on, that you're not gonna learn from that, so that if you come to do something similar to it in the future that you haven't learned from it. So my kind of prime example for myself for this was in 2020, I took a lot on the fact of that I was trying to do 2 YouTube videos a week, write a blog, post on Instagram every single day, and whilst I was getting back into doing my physio work. But building a website and writing a blog taught me so many skills that is so transferable over to anything else that I do. Same with creating the content, whether that were the YouTube videos or the Instagram posts and stuff, and then obviously doing the physio stuff, developing my skills there as well. But I had so many people saying you're going to stretch yourself too thin, you're just constantly working, you're never getting any time for yourself to relax and stuff. But it's like, looking back at that now, it's like everyone was completely right. I was stretching myself too thin, but I learned so much from them situations. Now is that in my new...
Because of the recovery, in my opinion, I think that's because of the recovery. Stressful. That stress has made you grow.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, to say the skills that you've learned, it's like I've stepped outside of my comfort zone and I learned a lot of skills about content creation, about everything else, about how social media works and all the algorithms and whatnot and different things to do and to grow. And then now that is just so useful. All of that is so useful for me, like going into a new business. It's like I haven't got to learn any of this, I know all of this. So even though, not saying that them other things have failed, because I still want to go back to making YouTube videos and stuff, but it's like even though I'm not doing them right now and it may seem like it's on the back burner, I've learned so much from that I can keep growing and developing. So I think I love the idea of living outside of that comfort zone. Is like, I saw like a meme thing the other day of it, were like waking up at 6:30, going to work for 7, being at work for 8 hours, looking at your watch and going, oh, only 40 more years of this. I'm like, that is like my worst fucking nightmare. Like, I'd rather eat shit for breakfast every single day than do that.
That's been me for the past, I think, 6-7 years. Like, and it does take its time when you're just realizing you're just only working for a wage, like a set hourly rate. You can't, like, the harder you work, you're only going to get that hourly rate. Which I'd love for a job where the effort that I put in, that I get out. So the harder I work, the more money I get. Like, that is a job for me, and that's what I'm working myself towards now.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah. But I think stress, like, to summarize that, stress, it's a good thing, guys. Just fucking put yourself under stress, especially when you're down. See, now during quarantine, when you're fed up and there's nothing to do, and just put yourself under stress. Either exercise stress, like financial stress. Like, even financial stress is like, it's what made me grow the most. See, during the first, like, I'm sure you're the same, during the first quarantine, whenever there's financial stress, see, coming back from that, the minute I grew, like, you need to put yourself under that stress to grow.
Yeah, I mean, like, when you talk about like the financial stress of things, is like, we both went through a lot of that. I know we did, because we talked about it, and we both read the same book, didn't we? And we both like developed ourselves and improved our financial management to deal with that, which now coming out of it and having more money has made my finances even better, because I'm now managing it so much better. But yeah, I think one thing that I'm going to butcher this a little bit, but it's one thing that one of my business partners says a lot, is that there's like 5 values in life that humans have and humans need. And like, one of them is certainty, and one of them is uncertainty. So it's like, you need elements that you're going to be certain about. Like, some people, like, I'm certain I'm going to go to work at 7 o'clock today, but then you need something in your life that's like uncertain and gives you variety as well. And certain people want obviously more, so different ones. And I think we're probably similar. If we want, like, we're certain that we want to do something for ourselves. Like, I don't know what you think, but it's like, when the idea of working for someone else and making a lot of money for someone else's business, where I'm only getting paid a portion of that the rest of my life, just makes me like feel a bit sick inside. Whereas like, not the fact that I'm gonna learn from them, which is great, and I'll take knowledge from them, but the end game is that I'm a 10 in my own business. I don't want to be like a 6 in someone else's business. I want to be 10 out of 10 for something that's my own. Like, you will be with hybrid, and I will be with like my A game stuff that I'm doing at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a good little bitter pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Put in the bin this week. I've got 2, but we're running out of time, so we'll just do one. I'm trying to think which one would be best. Yeah, we'll go to the assumptions about me. We'll talk about the other one next week.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen the trend going around on social media at the minute called assumptions about me, where people put up a question box and ask other people what their assumptions are of them? Fuck me, I have never heard the biggest load of fucking shite in my life. Like, why would you ask someone's opinion of you, like, of you that you don't care about? It's literally a follower. You've got 3,000 followers, and you're asking people who don't even know you what their assumptions are.
Yeah.
Like, based on your, oh my god, this is the reason that this fucking generation is so fucked up. Like, where they're just inviting people to insult them.
Yeah.
Like, who gives a fuck what other people think? Just worry about you.
Yeah.
If someone thinks something of you, water off a duck's back. Just let it fucking slide.
Yeah,
what's your opinion?
I'm sure
I'll fucking punch my screen.
I'm sure a lot of people are getting, oh, I bet you're a really nice person, but you're shy in public, and all these kind of ones. And then there'll be some that are they're not going to share them, but they're going to be fucking brutal, and they're going to be horrible.
There's always going to be a pervy guy saying, oh, I assume you love dick.
Yeah.
There's always that pervy guy who says something like that.
Yeah.
And like,
there's gonna,
you said that, but you're just...
But there's going to be the people that are putting that they're not going to remember all of these good ones that people are saying. They're going to remember.
Exactly.
They're going to remember this shitty one that someone says, and that's going to
be in the back of their head
all day.
It's going to eat away at them.
And that's the thing. It's kind of the opposite of what one of my goals this year is, to lose the weight of other people's opinions. And
Absolutely.
it's like, because I do it myself, and it's like people's opinions do. I'm like one of them guys that I like to be loved by everybody. I don't like it when people don't like me, but
I'm the exact same.
And the fact that if someone has like a negative assumption about me, that will sit with me because I want to be liked by everyone, and it's a point of that. If I don't know that assumption exists, then it doesn't bother me. I get on with my day. But
100%.
why would you want that assumption to sit in the back of you? You're almost asking, tell me something that's going to make me a bit depressed. Is what you're saying with that box. It's like,
make me sad.
Yeah, well, it's like,
No, I was really bad as a kid, like teenager. I was really bad for like worrying what people thought. And like one example I can think of is I used to have piercings. Like I had my eyebrow pierced, my nose pierced, my lip pierced, and whenever I went to a nightclub one day, and I had braces at the time as well. That's how young I was. And some girl said to me, "It looks like a grenade's went off beside your head, and all the shrapnel's just hit you in the face." Next day, I took all my piercings out, never wore a piercing again in my life. Like, all from this one girl in a nightclub who's had about 14 drinks, probably got bucked that night. Like, I cared what she said to change my appearance because of that one fucking thing she said. That like, looking back, I'm like, what a dick. I should have went back and put more piercings in my face.
yeah, I know. Well, it's like, it's one of them things of that. If you found that girl today and you asked her, "Oh, do you remember that time that you made me completely change my appearance because of what you said on this one nightclub?" She probably didn't even remember it the next morning. Never mind that night.
Absolutely.
But then
that pickled my head.
yeah, but you've attached this meaning so deep to it that it made you change your appearance the next day. And I think this is one of the big things that a lot of people's personalities and like the ways they are is created around these moments. And I think that going back to them and trying to change the meaning and being like, I mean, you've obviously already done that, and you realise that, oh shit, then I did it, but it's like you're not letting it hold you back now. But people are still letting things like that hold them back now, in the fact of that, like myself, I remember this time when I used to play cricket when I was younger, and I were about maybe like 13 or 14 or something, and I remember this one kid really like ridiculing me and non-stop ridiculing me, and I've like attached this meaning of that I need to be better because of this kid that was ridiculing me, and I need to keep outperforming and trying to shine and stuff, and just this kid really pissing me off, and it's like I've attached this meaning to it, and I bet if I found him now and went up and asked him about it, he'd be like,
You wouldn't even know.
Wouldn't even know that he said it. He'd be like, "Oh, how are you, mate? I haven't seen you in ages," and be like, fucking won't even remember. But I've deep-rooted, attached this meaning in my head. It's like you need to just pull this weed out, change the meaning of it, and kind of move on with your life a little bit.
I think it's growing up, maturing definitely helps you to be able to like let that run off you like water off a duck's back. Like I think that's the only way to get out of it is to grow out of it. Like when you're younger, you just care about what everyone thinks. It's just like I think it's a teenager thing. But I think now the generation now more than ever, like everyone's dressing different and weirder, and it's less weird. You get less stick for wearing weird things or anything like that. Like whenever I was young, I was a wee bit out there. Like I think I wore bandanas and shit like that there, and I got fucking shit for it. Like and again, that stuck in my head as well because I was different. But at the same time, I didn't really change that too much. I'd still do wear a bit eccentric stuff. And I do go out there, but like I could have went the other way and listened to what other people think and just like got depressed about it, but I didn't. But appearance has always been a thing for me, like even from teenagers, like thinking what other people think, and it's not good, like, and I'm glad I've grown out of it, and I hope everyone else doesn't.
I think if we're going to put that into a statement, then it's like for everyone's 2021 New Year's resolutions, if you're feeling like you carry the weight of people's opinions too much, it's the biggest weight you want to lose in 2021 is the weight of other people's opinions. Don't bother about anything else. That's going to be something that massively changes your life. And let's put that on a billboard somewhere. I think.
Yeah, and on that bombshell, I think that's a good time to end the podcast on that note.
Yeah, definitely. That's been been good though. I think we've opened up a few wormholes there that we've gone down into.
Covered a good lot of things, and more importantly, Hybrid Academy have now launched their female performance range that is absolute fire, and if you wear it, you will look like an absolute god. So,
and 10% improvement on strength.
Yeah, even more, I think, performance pack, so it could be more. But yeah, they're released now. Get on the website, the link's below, and have a look, and you won't be disappointed.
When we're doing a podcast in sports bra, then crops up.
I'm wearing mine underneath it as we go forward. All right, guys. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Let's see you later on, guys.